Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. What next? I say what next? I'm just kidding. It's good. She has a headache, no? We can give her a medicine. You need something? Who has a question? Who has an answer?
I was thinking something about the
Can you come closer so they can hear you better?
I was thinking something about the yesterday Satsang
Yeah.
that I really enjoy. And about the meaning of the thoughts and the meaning of the words somehow. And well, somehow the fact that I'm realizing somehow that what I'm talking about now is somehow at a certain point is it have no sense somehow. No,
Yes.
because we just decide that somehow language have some meanings and
Yes.
some I don't know how to explain it
Yeah,
better.
I'm getting a sense of what is.
But yeah, somehow there is this feeling that whatever comes from the mind, it's always incomplete, and it's always and it have no sense. That they have no the sense of or the sense that I think that it
Yes.
has is not I don't know. It's like the mind is completing things and it's completing like the motion in the cartoons, no? That
Yeah.
you complete and it's I don't know how to I don't know if it's clear or not.
Yeah, I have some sense of what you say. You say that, and you correct me if I'm wrong. So, you say that your yesterday's satsang you enjoyed. Firstly, which itself is great to hear for me because I get many reports that I didn't enjoy it. So this is good. Secondly, you say that you're getting a sense that whatever the mind is saying, whatever these words, this language is communicating, is not complete in any way. It doesn't have full meaning. So it is just trying to represent something, but doesn't have a proper grasp over it. So this is very good to see this, because we have been so relying on this story of the mind and using it to define the story of our life, that this is how it was, this is how it is, and this is how it should be, then now as you're seeing that, but this is not the full story. In fact, it is a very limited aspect of the story. You see? So this is very good to see that whatever we are saying, whatever is being spoken, whatever thoughts are coming, at best are a very limited representation of what the truth is. You see? Now, the good news about this is that because that is so, it does not mean that we are lost. You see? So the mind does not completely tell the story. It is at best a very bad photocopy, you see, of reality. So now I am lost. No, it is not so, because the minute you do not picture yourself with this photocopy version, you do not align yourself to this as if it was the truth. You see something, you see, which is beyond this mind. But it is not a thing. Now your only struggle that is left is that we might still wait for our mind to confirm this, to represent this, to say that yes, this is it. But all of these confirmations or denials will be something only temporary from the mind. So continue with this seeing and pull into your inquiry everything that the mind is claiming to know, and you will see that it cannot know this simple reality which is so apparent to itself, but not obvious with our worldly eyes and not obvious with our mind. So in fact, we are not lost. We never needed this roadmap because we are the destination. You are that destination which you cannot leave. You cannot escape the truth. So it is very good that you're starting to see the mythology of the mind, that the mind is building these stories about something which is not your reality. All its version, the me version, which itself is so unstable. You see? Even our ideas of me are so unstable. 1 year ago, something else. Today, something else. 10 years ago must have been completely different. You see? 1 year later, it might again be fully different. These ideas of me are also not stable. We can feel like, oh, there's this me that I have to get rid of, but it itself is very unstable, you see. Because it's just made up of ideas, say.
Yeah, there was something earlier with a thought.
Yeah.
I listened to
You
it
can stay here.
for a bit and was considering like, oh, could this be true or not? But then as I listened on, it was like creating like another branch off and then another one, and it was making it more and more. And I thought, no,
Exactly.
must be rubbish.
Good.
So just on a similar
Yeah.
thing, maybe of
You see?
recognizing.
Yes, because it can start many times very innocently. You see, the apple is green. What can be the harm in that? The apple is green. It's not, but it can propose these things. You see, and then but I like red apple. You see? Or when I had a green apple when I was very young, that was the sweetest thing I ever tasted. You see? Or something very quickly, like you were saying, it starts building up this whole bunch of stories and ideas. You see? Although many times it reels you in with some bait which seems very harmless actually. You see? What is wrong with this? It is only helping me. You see? Like that. And then quickly you see that you are identified as something that you can never be. You see? As a limited bundle of flesh and blood. You see? And nobody really in their heart feels this, you see, because if they really felt it, you would not say, even in the world, even in the Western culture, it is said after somebody dies, they say rest in peace. You see? But if they really considered that one to be the body, then what is there to rest in peace? It's dead. You see? So we have this sense, or many say like this, that I will rest only after I die. You see? So these kind of things in our intuitive heart, these are very clear to us actually, that I cannot be just this set of sensations or this flesh and blood. You see? I can't just be this. And yet the mind continuously is trying to convince us of our limitation. You see? And the thing is, it does not leave it at just this body. The minute you start to see I am not this body, it becomes clear, then it gives you new ideas to hold on to. Oh, I must be a soul then. In India also it is very prevalent. I am not the body, I must be a soul living in the body. You see? Some idea like that. And then if you say, if you learn more and more and more, then you go from this concept to a greater concept, or you think it's a higher concept. You might even say that. So sorry, Zoom went away for a moment. So if anyone typed some question, please, you will have to retype them.
So even the voice on behalf of awareness, right?
Yes.
It's not sure what it says.
Like for example, what would the voice say?
Okay, so I'm all of this. I find out that I'm this space which cannot be touched, cannot be.
And
sometimes it arises like this, you know.
Yeah. Like this.
Also, I'm so at peace now. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So if for example he says, you say that all of this is at best a limited representation of what you are. So what about when it says, I am that space? It's okay. That space in which all of this, what do you say? I am that space.
After having this experience, I'm this space. It's like it feels like you speak. This voice is speaking on behalf of this finding.
Yeah. So this which you are finding cannot be truly represented. At best, what you can say or what you can hear in satsang are some things which seem to point to this. You see, fundamentally they point away from your limitation. We can't even point to this in a way because it is so beyond time and space that there is no way to actually point to the self. You see? Yeah. But you can point away from your limited idea of yourself. So, just like
even saying like I'm not this, I'm not that, is it would seem like it's speaking on behalf of this awareness, but
it isn't truly. At best, it is provisional, like neti neti, not this, I'm not this. You see, but ultimately, you are not left in this sort of ultimate negation. I am nothing. You see, it is just. Even when it said you are nothing, it is to point you away from your idea of your somethingness.
And this is how the mind somehow, when the recognition happens, mind also adapts to the recognition. That's why it starts speaking like that?
Exactly. Exactly. The mind can use a lot of satsang words. And that's why some satsangs themselves can seem a bit painful. Because in those satsangs we are demolishing even satsang concepts themselves. And it can seem like, but it took me many years to get to this point where I am able to conclude that I am that. Now he's saying, throw this away. You see? And notice the resistance to throwing it away, because if we are truly talking about this inner insight that I am that, it does not need the concept I am that. You see? And it is not it is not attached to any concept at all. You see? It's not attached to the notion I am that. You see? So our spiritual buttons can be pressed. Sometimes this satsang, yeah.
Something is really wrong with my eye.
What happened?
My milia, that one, oh my god, ow, it's burning.
Come in. What's happened?
Ow, you can't, there's nothing, I'm not wearing shoes. You
Oh,
can't,
it's pain.
ow, I was legit crying. Ow, Dada, I don't have eyes on inside.
Tell Bunna to get some down.
Shivan? Yes.
Nice. Don't you have those cold packs?
At our house.
Huh?
At our house. Your mama Bhaiya took them and lost all of them.
Oh, yeah. Just splash some cold water.
You can go and take ice from our house if you want.
That's fine, I'll ask them.
Yeah, there's some eye drops you'll put. Should I
No.
put for you? Eye drops, but this is outside. She's getting this sort of growth.
No, that's fine, I'll just cold water.
The mind paints this picture for you that says that you are lost unless you are concluding something. That you must rest on some concept. But to rest on a concept is to define yourself, is to separate yourself. Not in reality, with the seeming separation. How many of the sense that you have to rest on a concept? Have to make a conclusion about yourself. And it's funny because even if you say I don't have to, it is still one. You just, this is the mind, you see, because it serves you both the assertion and its negation. It will tell you this way and this way, and you can feel like either way I have defined you. You see?
Even just I is a concept,
Yeah.
even before doing the choice.
Yes. You see? So when Bhagwan talks about losing the I thought, you see, it is that we no longer need to make a reference to this I. You see? Then, don't worry about the then, but you may come to this kind of statement, or you don't have to make any statement, but if one day some of you are sharing, you see, then you may say that I removes the I and remains the I. You see? But if it sounds like nonsense right now, it's fine.
Even if I rest on a concept about me,
Yeah.
it still feels like I'm on a very shaky ground, you know.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't feel settled,
Exactly.
and it feels like not being comfortable in our own skin. You know?
Yes.
It feels like that.
It
you know?
feels like
It's
that.
very unsettling. Yeah.
Because any concept can be debated and you can be convinced out of it also. Like you were convinced into a concept, you can also be convinced out of a concept. It just depends on the credibility of the source. You see, you might have some sensory experience which you are interpreting a certain way, so the mind can interpret it in such a way that a previous concept goes away. You see, this happens to us so often that somewhere we know that even though I am relying on this idea of myself right now, it is not giving me the stability, the contentment and the stability that I am really looking for. So to look for stability in this world that is constantly changing, or to look for stability in our conceptual world, you see, both are folly, because we see that constantly everything here changes. In anything that is perceived, it is the realm of change. So at any layer of your existence which is perceived, it is going to change. To try and hold on to that, you see, is a folly, because it doesn't stay. Whether it is the appearance of some people in our life or some things in our life, whether it is the state of the body, whether it is our thoughts and concepts, whether it is emotions, all this thing is part of a changing realm. You see? And the minute you attach yourself that it must be like this, you see, then the suffering is coming, because nothing that has come can stay. You see. So it is unstable, inherently unstable. So where to find stability? When you are empty of the subtitles, when you are empty of the judgment, the interpretation, I don't even want to say it is stable, because even that is in the realm of opposites. You see, it is beyond stable. And it's so funny that with the dropping of these subtitles, you will lose the idea of changing. You will not suffer from the changing appearance of the world, our thoughts, our emotions, the body and its state. So many clues are given to you in Satsang. But you just need one or two, and they are enough. Use them. Like a clue can be, who is there in the space between two thoughts? And don't just think about it. Find who's there. Thought comes, it goes. And there's always space, even though you may feel like your mind is very active. But you will find that if you say any notion, you will always have some space between that and the next one. It's not constantly jabber. It is telling you something which is pretending as if it is meaningful. So it is saying, this is like this. Actually, this is not like that, is it? So, between this is like this and the next idea, are you still there or no? This you that is still there in the space between your two thoughts.
It's like, so if there's a thought,
Yeah.
and it's believed in
Yeah.
a bit, but
Yeah.
also you know it's not, but then you kind of do believe it as well,
Yeah.
and you want to expose it
Yeah.
and say it, but then part of you is also doing that for reassurance that it's wrong, and then you feel like better for it, but then you don't want to have reassurance as such. And then there's a guilt maybe that comes with it, or you want to apologise, but you also don't want to own it. Is all of that just getting...
Yes, it's such a complicated play, very quick, no?
Yeah.
Oh, but this, I just wanted to reassure myself, but who am I who wants reassurance?
Yeah.
But I don't want to feel guilty. You know, this... You see? That's why...
Yeah. Just forget them all off.
Huh?
And just forget all
Yeah,
of
it's just... And it's not a trick, or it's not some... You see, it's not some denial or avoidance or something like that. You see? It is just to remain empty of any interpretation and meet everything just fresh. You see? Now, I was telling Edward last that day that now, what would be a true meeting? If you met somebody who came, suppose somebody just walked into Satsang. You see? If you met them with a lot of preconceived ideas, would that be the true meeting? Or you met them empty of any notion, just fresh? You see? I know, the way I'm selling it, obviously, it seems like it is this one. So, it's the same thing with whatever is arising. You see? Now, avoidance is to meet it with our preconceived ideas about what it is. Even when we say, okay, but this is guilt, and this is anger, and this is something else. You see? Then we label these things. But these labels are very, very limited. Because if you look at it just energetically, you will find that you have never actually experienced the same energetic sequence twice. You see? But our labels make them seem like, some can say, I have been a very angry person all my life. You see? But actually you can never experience the same thing twice. You see? But for this to become your insight, you just have to see without quickly putting the stamp, anger, frustration, this, that. You see? So just like this, the mind is offering you these problems and their solutions. You see? Both the problems and the solutions come from the mind. You see? So that is why this works. You see? Because nothing false is carried through in your freshness now. You see? Now I'll say, okay, but then how am I supposed to deal with this situation? You see? Now, in that question, how am I supposed to deal with this situation? What is the picture you have drawn about yourself? Are you saying, how is God supposed to deal with this? You see? Are you saying, how is Joanna supposed to deal with this? You see? So, and where is she? You see? Fictional. It's fictional, mythical. You see? So, how does the fictional one deal with anything? Cannot. It's just made up. So all of these things, this is what I mean by made up. So the problem is made up. How does the non-existent one, how is that one supposed to live? But it is not living. It is just a concept in your head. Say, don't censor yourself at all. Just say whatever's coming.
Like, in some ways I could maybe do that to myself, but it's
now this I is which one? I am not Advaita policing you. You see? I am not, but I am saying that it comes so quickly and paints a picture for ourselves as, okay, but you, again, you see, are this one. You see? And we buy into that and we say, okay, then, but I could do that, or maybe I couldn't. So now are we referring to God, or, you see, the one self, or what are we talking about?
yeah.
You see? So, and you'll start to enjoy this. That which feels a bit like frustrating now, you'll start to enjoy, because you will see that it offers up stuff, but all of its offers are so full of identity, that which I cannot be.
I recognise this voice now, and then sometimes hear things that doesn't sound right, like sounds a bit strange.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. It's gone.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you want, I don't know, there's a part that wants to, like, still ask the question about it to move forwards, but that's
Yes. So the idea of forward or progress, all of this is all mythical. I think it was Krishnamurti or somebody who said progress is a myth. And the first time I heard this, I was just like, what are you saying? This is what is the point of the whole spiritual journey then? But that's exactly what he was saying. That meet yourself now. Well, I don't know exactly what he was saying, and I can never say that this is what Krishnamurti was saying. But there is no progress for reality which is just here now. Now speak as this one. Speak as this one that is just here now. Is there a forward movement for this one? Is there a back step? Can you be stuck? Can there be an obstacle? Are you just saying like that?
No.
Because they get used to saying no. Sometimes I usually, like, if I go like this, then sometimes I shouldn't tell you I should do it. But okay, now that I started. You see, sometimes in the middle of the no, I put a yes question. Just to make sure.
None of that matters.
You start to enjoy this. You see, what initially when I look at your faces, they can seem a bit lost and okay then. Really like that? But then when you get used to it, you're not grasping anymore for, you see, therefore then what? So then what? You see, you're not grasping for a conclusion anymore. What does this mean? What is this about? You see? Sheila, you used to go into so much Vedanta class, you must be so well tuned to what does this mean. So therefore then, you see, like that. So when we leave that, you see, you can find so much space, so much freedom in this. You don't have to grasp for a conclusion. You stop finding either meaning or meaninglessness.
Yes.
Is it? Like little children, then we become, right? They are not grasping moment to moment. What does this mean? What does this mean? Or what? And the me is full of meaning. Father, okay, this is a nice question, short, no, simple. Father, to just be, isn't that also a concept? Yes. At the time you try to just be, it's already too late. You decided, I'm just going to be. Ta-da. What you were, no? Now you colored yourself with this idea of just being. All these provisionally they can be okay. Provisionally they can be pointers, they can be reminders, they're nice, they're okay. You see? But now I want to tell you that anything that can be verbalized and you take that to be like an accurate representation of truth or something. You see? Now I have to just be. But in that conclusion you are not just being. You see? Being needs no effort. How are you being right now? Did it need that decision? I'm going to just be. Now, you may say that okay, to just be implies that I am not going to attach anything to my sense of being. I am not going to say I am going to be good, bad. I am going to be sincere, insincere, truthful, liar. Yeah, you may say, okay, just being implies I don't attach any of this to myself. You see, it's good. It's a good pointer. It's a good reminder. But don't also then become like a habitual beer, just trying to be, because that's also an attachment to yourself. Without any ploy, without any tactic, no strategy, because there is no problem to be solved actually. It is just that simple. The mind will come and say, what are you saying? Does this mean that all this suffering, you see, that I had and have been through or I'm having, you see, all of this is mean nothing? Yes. It can hurt. I'm not saying it's not necessarily a fun thing to hear, because we have given ourselves many military badges based on our suffering. But do they belong to someone that is actually there? Nobody. They're like medals on a ghost. Now, the fun thing also to look at is to see all the things that I want to get rid of. You see? But what is the stuff I don't want to get rid of? Because hide it as we may, this me is our favorite person. This me is our favorite person. So we may say, okay, take the guilt, Ananta, take the arrogance, take this, take the lust, take whatever we have designated as negative. And nobody comes to me and says, take the goodness, take the truthfulness, take whatever I consider myself to be. Because we feel that if I just get rid of the bad stuff, so-called bad stuff, good stuff, then I'll become the perfect version of me, and that is what this whole game is about. But it is not that actually. It is to let go of everything, hook, line and sinker, everything. This means unborn. This means openness. All my conclusions about what I think, they were never true anyway. So if the ego is like a ghost, then you don't have to wait for the death of the ghost. It's already a ghost. It's already not there. Initially it will feel like you play a bit of a tennis match. You see? Where, okay, I'm saying like this, then because we're used to it, we go with that to the mind and say, okay, Mr. Mind, what do you feel about this? This is what he's saying now. You see? And you're thinking, then you'll say, but ask him, what about this then? You see? But my mind is saying, you see? Then the master is saying, da 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 da. Then again, this is what he's saying. Yeah? So you're the poor spectator for a while, which is like between the two voices you're hearing. Then this tennis match doesn't have to last too long. The tennis match doesn't have to last too long because you'll get tired of it. And hopefully you'll get tired of it in a way that you will stay with the voice of your presence. But sometimes you get tired of it and some actually say, forget it, this is not for me, it is too difficult. And just like, I'm just going to live with my mind, it's okay. It's okay. That's how it goes. That's fine too. But of course my blessing is for you to come to, if you have to take the refuge of one of these two voices, you take the refuge of your intuitive voice, your intuitive presence.
Sometimes it's like it seems difficult to identify because it takes forms of images, emotions, but somehow it's like it's not only about to identify, but it's to go beyond, you know, somehow it's like to awake something that is not the mind somehow. Or
yes, but okay, I tell you a secret. When you are not identifying, that is the awakening to the self. It is not a two-step process. It is not that, okay, first switch this off, then switch that on, because that is already on, just getting seemingly obstructed, you see, by the distraction of the mind. So this is what the Buddhists meant when they said Buddha nature is never concealed. You never have to go turn the Buddha on. You see? Shiva is never hidden. You don't have to go to Shiva and say, come on, get up. Yeah. Like that. It's always on. So the truth is always on. It is the distraction of the false which is dropped away now. Otherwise, very subtly in these ideas, then the mind can make a doer out of you again. It can make a grasper out of you again. Now, I was talking about the mind versus the voice of your intuitive presence. So sometimes I can get a question like this also: how do I distinguish between the two? And you'll notice that with the mind, there's always a sense of grasping, always a sense of some wanting, some neediness, something. You see? Even if it wants to get it, like get the truth, even if the claim is I want to just get the truth. You see, you find this sort of trying to grasp, you see, with the mind. With your intuitive presence, you're just sitting around. You see? It is not saying you must get this now. You see? It is just there. Because It is not concerned by time, it is not concerned by space, it is not in a rush. Your mind is somewhere always rushing. Let's get it now. Like that. But your being and the intuitive voice, intuitive presence of this being is never rushed, it's never pushy, it's never saying you must, you should. You see? It's just there. You see? And the good news is that if it is not clear, this difference, forget it. You see? Don't rely on any voice. If there's confusion, is this my intuition or the mind? Forget it. You don't have to decipher it. Just sometimes you'll hear it so clearly in your heart that this question will not be there. So it's good to this question, his question is very, very, very important actually. Then that is the whole fundamental basis of Jnana Yoga in a way, which is that the truth does not need anything. All that is needed is to shine our light on the false, and in shining our light on the false dissolves, and it is seen that the truth is just naturally always there. It is not the outcome of a process. It is not the effect of a cause. It just is. And too quickly we go to a conclusion which is, we say, oh, now, he said now, like that. But nothing happened. You see? Or maybe I need to do something. You see? Let's go wake up Shiva. He must be resting. It's not like that. Shiva is just apparent to you. You might not have the vocabulary for it yet. You see? You might not have like a perceptual experience of it. You see? But it is always there. You see? That which you could awaken, you see, will go back to sleep. That which comes goes. And here the mind is just like out of moves because, but it can't just be this. But what about true self-recognition? You see? It is here. What about that experience? When people laugh and cry at the same time. You see? It is not needed. If it comes, it comes, but many can get stuck in those experiences also. So many we've seen like that through the years. You can see that can have very strong so-called awakening experiences, but can get stuck in the idea of the experiencer, of the specialness of the awakened one. Nothing is needed. This is very worthy exploration. As you are, just as you are. You are all there is. no state can change you. And such great changes happen for you in a few hours. You see, this entire realm is going to disappear for you. Everything is going to go to nil, and yet you will remain. And you may find that a brand new realm is there suddenly. You see? And you seem to recognize even that. You may feel like you belong in that realm. You play with that for a bit, and then that will go. It might seem like you spent an entire lifetime. One time it happened like this, some of you probably haven't heard this story. So 6:30 or 7:30 in the morning, the children came and woke me up and said, "Bye Pa, we are going to school." So I said bye to them. So this realm was there. I said bye to them. Went back to sleep. Everything gone. Then a different place came. I spent one whole life, you see, grew up, spent an entire lifetime, and then funnily, because this being has a sense of humor, you see, so in that realm, then I was half an hour late to an event after living this entire life. I was half an hour late to an event that I was supposed to attend with my wife or something like this. And I could remember that how that time was passing, and I was worrying about getting late and all of these things. And then after having lived that life till that point, suddenly this realm came back. So when an entire lifetime was spent, but in this realm only half an hour had passed. And why I said the sense of humor was that it made sure, being to play with itself, made sure that it noticed that passing of that entire lifetime, especially an additional half an hour, just to make sure that it could not have played this game of, oh, but that must have been happening in super fast speed or something. You see, so time and space are so much just projections of this. Has this happened like you must have, no? You feel like you have a short dream, but actually many years can pass in that so-called dream. You see? So time is as malleable as space. Now the funny thing is we accept it about space. You see? We don't say, oh, dream is a limited thing. If I run to the edge of my dream in my dream, I'll fall off the edge or something. You know, we don't say that. You see? It's like there can be mountains and rivers, and you can keep looking at things, and it's unlimited. You see? But when it comes to time, we feel like, wow, how did that happen? But it's the same as space, actually. So, just like all of this, then that can be experienced. So, you already are not confused about your reality in that way, because you've seen all this coming and going. You see? Your being, yourself, is not confused about any of this actually. It is that somehow there is a habit of playing as if we are the confused one by picking up a limited idea of ourselves. Right? And what is that idea? Any idea. You see, that's why unborn, notionless existence. Like we were saying, even the most harmless sounding ideas very quickly can make a limited reference to yourself. The coconut is green. Last year I used to really have those green coconuts. They were really sweet water in them. No? Like you can make reference to yourself very fast. And is the coconut green? That's a different conversation. We did that yesterday, now we are not good. So replace your knowing with wonder. In fact, replace your knowing. Wonder is organic. You can't try and create wonder. It is acting. Let go of these limited ideas of anything, everything. I was going to say, I'll say a little bit. Then you'll never be bored actually. There's so much intricacy in this play of light and sound. It is impossible to be bored unless you're making a very limited idea about yourself. Even now, there's so much play of shadow and light, of this voice is coming, then there are these shiny things looking back at me, these eyes that you call, but you don't really look because we're so caught up in what we think is going on that we miss all of this beauty. Look at this, if you had to pay for a painting like this, it's available to you for free. But we are caught up in our photocopy of this painting. So much varied. In this room, there's how many different emotions, even right now. Some are happy in bliss, some are suffering with frustration, some are just neutral, some are itchy, some are... There's so much variety, so much in this simple moment. I'm not saying we have to keep making these conclusions, oh, this is happy. I'm just now spelling out just to point something. But we miss all of that because mostly we're just living in our mental concepts. That is why it is said that the one who is free enjoys even this manifest realm the most. Because they get so much of this variety of taste, and your attention is not constantly dissipated by this mind saying what's in it for me, what am I getting, am I understanding this, all of these things. And if attention is not dissipated, you really get the taste of this. Otherwise, everything is a bit blurry, half with the mind, half with this voice. It's all dissipated and everything seems a bit insipid then. It's in fact what's happening in today's world is sort of a representation of this, where when we go to any nice place, what do we want to do? Take the photo, put it on Instagram. It's like we want to capture that, and we start, like I was saying the other day, maybe I was telling Guruji or some of you also later, because sometimes, like in Rishikesh, I would meet some very sweet one would come that maybe we met only online or something. I would say, Ananta, oh, so nice to meet you, and so good. Can I have a photo with you? Like that. So they come, of course you can have a photo. Then we have a photo together. And photo is done. After that, they forgot about me. It's only the photo. No buy, nothing. It's just you see, so this is what happens when we make these mental conclusions. We just like, this is what it is. then we stop looking. You see? And I'm not saying that somebody is behaving badly or something like this. It's just the nature of the mind. You can feel like, okay, this is what I wanted now. I've captured this moment, you see? And I have it now with me. So I can feel a bit like that. Like, can I have the selfie? When selfie is done, but the self is forgotten. So just like that. So in this also, you're just waiting. Okay, what does this mean? This is what I mean. I understood. You see? Sometimes it can happen to you in the beginning of satsang. Like, what is he saying? This is what he's saying. And after that, you don't hear anything because you're just like, yes, this is what he's saying. This is what. We got our meaning, we got our interpretation, and we are just like, we're done for today. I wanted just like that. So just empty of this operation of trying to grab and trying to grasp at life. You're meeting it so much. It's like the vibrancy of this world gets turned up because your attention is fully on what there is in that moment. So you don't need a supernatural experience. You see, this much experience can you handle? You see? Drink up this experience in this moment, for one moment, without avoiding it. Even this is too supernatural. You don't need to see some great form of the Lord or something like that. This is a great form of the Lord. Meet even the manifest world fully, without running, without avoiding it. Or trying to capture it. Somebody said, we were saying yesterday also, that somebody said that why are the Buddhists constantly in this sort of negation of everything, and even don't forget about God. Is it a sort of nihilism or something? But it is not. They only say that because the more we load up the concept with our idea of what it should be, you see, we don't meet it for what it is. We keep expecting to meet some idea of what we think it is. So empty, when we say forget about it, you see, it is to be empty of these preconceived notions. Same thing when you have a fresh meeting. You see. Now the beautiful thing about this is that if you are empty of these preconceived notions, then every moment is a meeting with God. You might not be attracted to the term God, so you can replace it with truth or self or reality, whatever you like. The only thing that gets in the way of your meeting with this ultimate reality is our idea of what it should be. And especially our idea of what it should not be. Because the mind can still say, but this should not be here, this has to go. Nothing has to come or go. Your God, will it be something that comes and goes? It just is. Then manifest, unmanifest, absolute, changing, all these are meaningless terms. To be empty is to be God. I usually don't say anything like that because we'll put the second part first, or at least like a benchmark. And the best news is what? You are empty now. As much as you may resist this idea, you have forgotten what troubles you in this very moment. This moment. You need a reminder for your troubles, not for the truth. You need a reminder of your limitation, not of your truth. Let's catch up with the questions. In this process, at times, I feel utterly alone and a sense of fear of death or dying creeps up. I struggle a bit there, though noticing that this also arises in that spacious field of awareness. Bless me, dear Ananta-ji. Pardon me if the description looks out of place. No, it is very natural for this. You see, whether you call it the fear of the unknown or you call it the fear of death, it is the same fear that everyone who goes through this grapples with. Sometimes you can use big names like the 40 days and nights. Right? Sometimes you can just say it is the most frustrating, most fearful experience of our lives. You see? These things very much a part of this play. Now, it can seem to happen in varying degrees for all of us, but it is not something that is unnatural. You will feel lonely, you will feel like nobody understands you. There will be times in the inquiry you feel like death is coming. You see? So, and it is very good then to be able to join Satsang, because to meet someone who has overcome this fear, has transcended all of this, can be very encouraging. You see. Otherwise, when the mind gets a hold of this sense of the fear of the unknown and the fear of dissolution, death, then it's good if someone's there with you saying, it's okay, you'll be okay. Many of us have prayed for the Absolute. We have prayed for a complete dissolution of the false. But when it starts to happen, it can feel uncomfortable, it can feel scary, like, what is happening? This is not what I bargained for. I was promised bliss, in fact. When these things come, they can feel so oppressive and they can feel like, but I'm much worse now than I was before I started this journey. Why did I even get into this mess? You can feel all these things. I'm sure I can relate to these things. So, but they don't last. These things just, ammunition of the mind is not unlimited, you see. It is the truth which is unlimited. And it is good that you are in Satsang, because you have a reminder in front of you saying, yes, all these things happen, the fear of death can come, but you will transcend it. You see. The mind can also give you a lot of unfounded fears in the process. Like one time I was in Thiru and this girl came and sat in front of Guruji and said, I have this strong feeling that my head is going to explode. Like that. So he said, oh, I've never seen a head exploding. Just what? Not that he wanted a head to explode, but just to not be fearful of these ideas that the mind gives you. It's like, whatever is coming, okay, bring it on. What is that? Let's see. What can you do? You see? It is only one who has transcended that can point in this way truly from the heart, because they have seen the true nature of this reality cannot be hurt by anything. You see? That is why, besides, of course, all the pointers and the presence which is available in Satsang, it is good also to hear from someone who has been through all of this and can tell you that none of this will last, but your truth will. Thank you, Father, for over and over pointing to the simplicity. It's such a wonder every time, never getting bored. Just like this. It's just some dust can come on the spectacles, but in reality nothing is ever blurry. Okay, enough for today. Good. So then, what does all of this mean?
Giving up the good stuff. There's this dissolution starts to happen, and then there's a grasping to the memory of being 20 years with my beloved, and that if I lose that, then it's like a betrayal or something. And I know that the ever-present love has been identified there, but somehow I don't know, I think I need to hear something to, because I can feel it really strongly in this moment, holding on to that and just not wanting to let go of that beauty, that memory.
Anything else you want to keep?
Only that.
Only that. Okay, done. Keep that. It won't get in the way.
Keep that.
Yeah. One time, another dear friend, she said to me that, Ananta, I'm really struggling today. I say, what happened? She said to me that I know that it is my notions, it is my belief in my thoughts which keeps me bound. You see? But there is one thought that I just have to believe. You see? And so I said, okay, what is this thought? Then she said, oh, I don't remember what it was. So I say, okay, if it is just that one thought, you can keep that. You know? Then she says, oh, can I have 2 more? There is no actual, you see, in India we have this Mahabharata, like there is no actual battle like this. Everything easy and it's fine. It needs no. It's funny that I'm coming up with a lot of Buddhist references today, but Buddha did extreme penance. Extreme penance. Then he got to this truth. And what did he say? All that was not needed, just a life of simple, easy does it, moderation. You don't have to create a big opposition to something. You see, because the mind is very tricky. It will say, what about the attachment to your children? Only once you are free from that can you be free. Like that. Because it's heard about attachment, then it sets you up for failure. You see? So then, okay, it's easy. Even animals have this thing. So keep it. But don't ask for too much, because then it becomes like a trick. Can I keep this also? Can I keep that? All are attachments. But if there's something which you feel like, but this I have to have, is it? Okay, it's fine. What if you had nothing stopping you? Nothing was in the way. Everything was fine just as it is. No precondition, no prerequisites. Even everything you heard in Satsang, just keep it aside. Nothing. Nothing new to be found, nothing old to be given up. Nothing. Do you have a shape now? all these sensations that we call the body, are they not dancing inside you? Are they limiting you? There is no benefit to just limiting yourself to these. See that all of this is nothing but sensation within you, perception within you. There is no benefit to breaking yourself up into me and other. Not even into past and future. Don't color yourself with any color or shape or size or story. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.